Remington Rand, who now invite you to play What's My Line?
Now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
I usually introduce the gentleman on my left, but he isn't here, and we don't know who it is tonight. Somehow, he's as much of a mystery as our mystery panelist, so I can't introduce him. But it does give me pleasure for the first time to be able to introduce my colleague of 7 years, almost, on this panel, a girl who is not only known for her splendid and logical mind, but whom I consider a very splendid person indeed, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, Arlene, very much. And I don't know who this is either. Did you peek?
There's no name?
No clue? But I do know very well the gentleman who is going to be seated on my left, and so do you. He's our traveling panelist. I happen to have a condensed version of his itinerary, so the people out in Notre Dame can look forward to seeing him this week. Also those in Bradley, Michigan, and the University of Indiana. Mr. Bennett, sir.
About Flint and Cincinnati.
Tell me.
Well, this is a night, I think, since we don't know who our fourth panelist is tonight, I'd like to take a moment to mention the fact that a book by our late and beloved regular panelist, the late Fred Allen, is being published this week by Little Brown. It's called Much Ado About Me, and like Fred himself, it's a warm, gracious, witty book. And now, on my left, is our wonderful newscaster who's shown again on election night and who moderates his panel so brilliantly, Mr. John Daly.
Good evening, and it falls to my lot to lift the veil of secrecy about our missing panelist. I think the best thing for me to do is to introduce him. I can't ask him to come in and sign in, please, but I do ask him to come in and sit down, please. Welcome to Jerry Lewis. It's nice. What is that? Quadruple sheeting, huh? Jerry, it's nice to have you with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll meet tonight's mystery. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery guest, for which I've asked my friends on the panel to put on their blindfolds. Jerry Lewis has got his on. Get that up where it belongs there, Lewis. Now, are all those blindfolds in place?
Ours are.
All right, fine. Then will the mystery challenger come in and sign in, please? As you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin it with Arlene Francis.
Are you associated in some way with show business?
Yes. Mr. Lewis.
Are you a performer in the literal sense of the word?
Oui.
What is that, he said?
That's yes.
He's
Yes?
a little
That's
performer.
yes.
Oui.
Oh.
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you in the motion pictures?
See. Sir?
See, I can't see. There was a strange, it seemed to me there was more applause after you signed in than when you walked out. So I wonder if it's possible that your chief fame is because of your reputation rather than visually. Is that correct?
je ne sais pas.
I would
don't
say
get
that it probably, Bennett, that our guest is known visually to great numbers of people, but at the same time I would have to admit that he has a towering reputation, which rises even above the identification factor.
Thank you.
Miss Francis?
I'm in Pittsburgh. But the gentleman is a performer, you said, or he said, or we weed.
The gentleman does perform, yes.
He performs, but he performs mostly behind the scenes, am I led to understand?
What was this reading you just gave?
See.
Yes, I think that in balance we would have to say that behind the scenes is the principal area of operation.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Lewis?
But you do both, behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera. Is that correct? Am I to believe?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That is true. Do I go again?
Yes, you go ahead, because you were merely re-establishing an already recorded fact.
Oh, thanks a heap. Well then, let me ask this. Do you work alone?
Oh, no.
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you in any way associated with the production end of motion pictures?
Oui, mademoiselle, oui.
Mr. Cerf?
I think I know that voice from personal acquaintance. Are you beloved by millions and millions of children?
It's Gulliver.
The answer to that would have to be yes, Bennett.
Can I take a stab? What do you
Yes,
want
you
to
can
want?
take a stab.
I think it's Walt Disney.
You're right.
I was afraid to use the falsetto because that's the mouse.
That would have given it all away. Well, no, actually, you did very well. All those foreign languages and things. You know, Walt is a man of very great courage. Next Tuesday's, I guess it is, next Tuesday, Saturday Evening Post is going to come out with an article written about Walt Disney by his daughter. And as far as I know, he's planning to stay in town and even in the country, aren't you?
Well, I think I should leave town. To tell the truth.
No,
because
I'm sure
it was a conspiracy on the part of all the women in my family to give the lowdown.
I must
May I
say.
ask-
And everybody had something to say in it, except there's one female that didn't say a word, and that's my dog.
Your dog didn't say anything. Well, they do say a man's best friend.
Could I ask you a
That's right.
question, Walt? When we had lunch together in Hollywood, you gave me a long list of all the wonderful additions you're going to put into Disneyland this year. Are they coming along?
Well, I
The-
completed those. I'm starting on next year.
The chairlift that's going
Oh,
over
yes.
the whole, is that in? And the Tom Sawyer Island that you told me about?
I made it in time for the summer season. Now I'm starting on my next year's plans, which...
I'm sorry, Bennett.
I just wanted to say, give a plug to Disneyland. I think it's the most wonderful place for kids and adults I've ever visited in my life.
I just wanted to ask Walt a question. Walt, did you check with the government and see if they needed any money lately? You know what money he's put into this place? Oh, for heaven's sake.
Now, I would like, actually, it's no secret that Walt and I have worked basically in another network, but I'm more interested in what you think now about television after 2 or 3 years of exposure.
Well, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. You get to reach people in a sort of an immediate way. With the pictures, you work for years, and then it's quite a while before you know how what you're working on is going to come out, how it's going to be received. But with television, you know, well, in a very short time.
Do you find it's a burden, Walter, over the other working habits? Or
Oh, no.
you
I
get
think I found it very stimulating.
Very stimulating.
For the whole staff, everybody, it's been a great stimulus to the whole organization.
Fine. That's good, you know, because that makes it sound like Mr. Walt Disney's going to stay in television, which is what I really wanted him to do. Walt, thanks
I think
very
I
much.
made it.
It's glad to have you with us, and nice of you to have been our guest. Will you say hello to Bennett, Miss Anna? Well, I must say the